Hi, all. Welcome back. I quickly finished off the children of the two wives. I'm going to start with that this time again. Okay. So Yaakov likes Rachel, and God sees that Leah is disliked, actually hated, and he gives her children. So she has the first child, Reuven. Reu, see, it's a boy. And then she has another son, Shimon. Shama Adonai, God heard that I was hated, and she gave me another one. He gave me another one, so that's Shimon. In the notes, Leah has Reuven, Shimon. Then she has Levi, um, and finally Yehuda. Yehuda is to say Todah, thanksgiving. So we have the names of the children. Rachel, in chapter 30, Rachel sees that she had no children. So she goes up to Yaakov and she says, look, I can't handle this. If you're not going to give me children, I'm going to die. So she takes her maid and she gives her maid to Yaakov, and she's going to have children from her maid. Let me go up there. Whoops, sorry. Here. So Rachel gives Bilhah to Yaakov, and she has child number 5, who is Dan, and child number 6, who is Naphtali. Okay, so Bilhah, she gives Dan and Naphtali, and now Leah is jealous because her maid the other one's maid, Rachel's maid, has children, so she takes Zilpah and gives her to Yaakov, and she has 2 children, Gad and Asher, number 7 and number 8. Okay, Gad and Asher. And now there is kind of a not pleasant story. Reuven comes and he brings Dudaim. Here, Dudaim are called mandrakes. In modern Hebrew, Dudaim are cherries. And Reuven brings it, gives it to his mother, and Rachel sees, so she says, can I have some of them? And she says, well, I was going to give them to Yaakov, so he spends the night with me. So she says, not only that you took my husband, now you want to have my son's fruit. Leah goes to Jacob and says to him, I got you because of the dudaim, because of the cherries. Sachor, I hired you almost. And Leah sleeps with him, and she has another child. And from the word Sachar, she calls him Yisaschar. And finally, Zevulun. And after Zevulun, she has Dinah. So let's go back to the list. I'm all over the map. Let's go there quickly because my time is being wasted. Ay, 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 ay. Oh no, I went completely the wrong way. I apologize. Oh, this is a real mess up and it's costing me time. Okay, just a bit further. And here we go. So here we go. So she has Issachar, and then she has Zebulun, who was child number 9 and child number 10. And after that, she has Dinah. So Dinah is like child number 11. Then Rachel has Joseph, hoping that Yosef, he will give me an extra child. Benjamin wasn't born yet, but I put him in here as child number 12, and he will be born later. So here we are, and where are we? Right. Okay. Vayomer elav Lavan. Okay. So Lavan says to Jacob, look, I recognize it because of you. I'm so lucky and I'm so blessed, and I have um, a lot of wealth because of you. Um, I know all of that is because of you, and God blessed you, and I am blessed because of you. And he says, what should I give you? So he says, I don't want you to give me anything. Lavan is offering Jacob a gift, and he says, I don't want anything. And we met somebody who refused gifts before when the king of Sodom says to Abraham, what should I give you? And he says, no, 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 I don't want anything from you, not even as much as a shoestring. And now Jacob says to Laban, as if he says, I want you to give me very little. Let me go through the flock, and I will pick the speckled and spotted animals, the dark ones among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats. So the sheep and the goats, spotted, speckled. And Lavan appears to have taken out all the spotted and speckled animals, so that Jacob shouldn't be able to remove any for himself. However, Jacob has a scheme, and the scheme, he lays out some sticks where the animals eat, so there is like suntan marks, and they become spotted and speckled, and therefore he is able to take advantage and get the animals that he wanted. And then he picks up and he goes away, and he runs away with his family, leaving Lavan and taking his wives with him. And he says, it's time for me to go back home. And he calls Rachel and Leah. Here he calls Rachel and Leah, and he tells them, your father doesn't like me, and he doesn't get along with him, how hard I worked for him, and he changed my wages, and he with all the sheep, the whole story here about the spotted ones and the speckled ones, and he sees whatever happened. And then Rachel and Leah says, listen, we have nothing with our father, and we might as well leave. In fact, he considers us strangers. He told us as much. And um, and he is eating our money. So there seems to be a family fight. And Yaakov gets up and he puts his wives on the camels, and they're ready to leave. And 1 second. And he runs away till he comes to the river, and he's going to the Gilad in northern Israel. And now Lavan has told after 3 days that Jacob and family ran away, and he takes his family and he runs after him, and he finally catches up with him. And he says to Jacob, what did you do? Why did you run away? Why did you steal everything that I own? Why did you run away? Had you done this properly, I would have accompanied you with music and given you a proper send off. And Yaakov says, I was afraid. I didn't trust you. I was afraid that you're going to take my wives away from me. So that was the response here. I was afraid, and says that you would take your daughters away from me. Rachel, so Lavan seems to be missing his idols, and he's going through everybody's tent to find them. And it appears that Rachel took them, and she was sitting on them on top of the camel. And she tells her father, forgive me for not standing up to honor you. I'm sitting on top of the camel because I have tummy cramps. I'm having my period. And that is kind of the end of that story. And is there anything else to say here? Yaakov is basically, um, Yaakov makes a treaty, like a deal with Lavan, and they make a monument, and they call it Yegar Sahaduta, and Jacob called it Gal Ed, Gal, witness. And he says, this is going to be the witness that we made a deal, and here. And Lavan said to Jacob, behold, this heap, these stones, are a pillar. This is the deal between us, that we are going to get along. And essentially, Here, may God of your father judge between us. And they swore to each other, and they brought sacrifices. They ate together, and that was it. And that was the separation of Yaakov and Lavan. I think you should remember that name, Yegar Sahaduta, which is Gal Ed. And that was the monument that he put up. I'm going to stop here, and we'll continue in class next day. Thank you and good evening.